No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you, the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. What a beautiful, yeah, it's still a beautiful day. Please stand and join us for the new song. A place where everybody knows your name, and we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. And in remembering to love and serve, we're transforming lives that transform the world as we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. One more time, y'all. Who we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are, and remember who we are, and remember who we are. I
don't know what happened.
That was fun, right?
Good morning. It's great to be back with you. I actually had a week off last week, and I took it off. I played golf 4 times. That was discouraging. And anyway, it's been a great week, but more importantly, this really brings the week together for me, being back with you. And so thank you for being here this morning. We welcome you, each and every one of you. And, as we welcome one another, we remember why we are here, as the song said. To love, serve, and remember who we are. And who we are is a spiritual community that grows together, comes together, loves together, and enjoys one another because we are supporting one another. So thank you for being here this morning. And as we move forward, we remember our mission statement. And the mission statement says, together please, we are a spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And then we follow that up with a mission statement, and this I love. We transform lives that transform the world. You know, I didn't really come up with that. Somebody did many, many years ago. But when I was in school, they asked us to write a mission statement. And I wrote, transform lives, transforming the world down. Now, I thought it was original. And then, of course, I've read it so many times by other people that I realized it wasn't. But it doesn't make any difference. It was me, and it's what Vicki and I believe in, and what you believe in. So I think we're a pretty good fit from that standpoint. Thank you very much. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is take a moment and to honor Eric Bonifant. And Maureen is here, so you can say good morning to her this morning. And Eric has been a member of this church for many years. He was very active in the Unitine program with his son John. He also was active in the men's club. And under Ed's direction, that means he stayed really busy, you know, doing things here at Unity. And he spent last year with leukemia. It was a difficult time for him. It was a time that was difficult for Maureen and John. And I know that a number of people here joined in to support them as they took this journey together. And so I just wanted you to know that information will be coming forth about a memorial service which will take place on the 21st, and that we can then come together to celebrate his life, the meaning to this church, and the meaning to his family and his son. So thank you. And now at this time, we will have our opening prayer. And so in this opening time, we remember Eric, we honor Eric, we support his family, and we know that the spirit of love, the spirit of compassion, and the spirit of understanding for Maureen and John is here in this place in this moment. And so we hold Eric's journey, his spiritual journey, in love, and we also know that each of us is on a spiritual journey and that he was part of that spiritual journey. And so this morning we continue our spiritual journey as we share together during this service the music and the message and, of course, the announcements. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. And so now, let me look at my schedule. It's the time for the music team to sing I Am That I Am. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Put your hands together. We're going to get started here.
We all love you, Maureen.
I am that I am, has sent me to this now moment. Here I
in the service, ladies and gentlemen, where we turn and greet our neighbor with a friendly bow, handshake, or a hug, or whatever moves you. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you. And we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
I am that I am, has sent me to this now moment. Here I am that I am, has sent me to this now moment. Here I am. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am.
Put your hands together. Come on now.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a great Sunday, isn't it? I love it here. My name is Boyd Black, and I am a joy-filled member of this amazing community, along with so many other joy-filled members. And memories. Today's word of the day is healing. Please join me in our affirmation. Divine life lives as me. I am whole and well. I see some laughter still out there. Yeah, okay. When I'm experiencing a healing need, I focus my thoughts beyond illness and discomfort. Even as I seek treatment for the injury or illness, I see myself whole. I remember that I am created in the image according to the likeness of God. I know my life is God's life, living as and through me. Divine life fills every cell, strengthens every muscle, bone, and organ, and quickens every nerve in my body. It restores perfect order to all my body's functions, releasing and replacing anything unlike itself. When someone asks me to pray with them, I do not ask about their symptoms or circumstances. I affirm the healing activity of divine life in each one with whom I pray. I see them as the spiritual beings they are, whole and well. Our scripture verse today is John chapter 1, verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of all people. If you desire or need prayer support today, well, we got options. You can submit a prayer request with the prayer request form on the table outside the chapel. You can submit a prayer request on our website, unityrenaissance.org. And you can call Silent Unity. They're there 24/7, 365. The number is 816-969-2000. And if you are blessed and fortunate enough to be here today, we have prayer chaplains available. They will be located in the chapel after the service. It's right outside the left doors, past the bookstore. Go see them. And when you're done, head into the bookstore and pick up something. Would our prayer chaplains please rise? And would you all please join them and rise for the Lord's Psalm? Holy Creator, we praise your name, your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father, who
we
art in
praise
heaven,
your name.
hallowed be thy name.
Your will in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth that is in heaven.
Supply our need, Lord,
And deliver us from our debts, as we were to those who do our debtors. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom,
And 'twas the power and the kingdom forever.
With you began and with you stays. Amen. Amen.
Please stand for our next tune.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Stand for this one.
I mean, if y'all want to dance, sure. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. I have more than enough of all that I need to do all I can do, be all I can be as I go through my day. This is my creed. I have more than enough of all that I need. I have more than enough of all that I need. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Hey na 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 na, more than enough. Is there anyone who can't remember a time when you had less money and it did just fine compared to where we were? We've come all this far. Why not spend a day enjoying where we are? I have more than enough of all that I need to do all I can do, be all I can be as I go through my day. This is my creed. I have more than enough of all that I need. I have more than enough of all that I need. Hey na 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 na, more than
more than enough.
All right. There we go. I want to make sure it was up there. Thank you. Well, I just want to make a request this morning. I'm going to talk about prosperity. So I want you to tune in and not tune out. Sometimes we want to tune out when we talk about prosperity. And today I want to talk about the spiritual perspective, from a spiritual perspective. What is prosperity? How does it work? You know, it makes sense, if you would, that which created us and gave us the ability to create would give us a process through which we can meet our needs each and every day, can meet our temporal needs, can meet our mental needs, can meet our physical needs. And so and our spiritual needs. And as we understand that and take that into an understanding a little deeper than just prosperity is all about money, it's really all about how you live your life, how you feel, and what you want to open yourself up to. And so, this morning as we talked about this idea of spiritual laws, that's what I call them, of prosperity, I've taken from Edwin Gaines, the 4 Laws of Prosperity. I've taken from Spiritual Economics with our friend Eric Butterworth, and several other books that I've read, and then some of my own thoughts, if I may. And so the first thing I want to say is that the first thing we have to do is learn to forgive. And so we're looking at this, from up here. Now, the first thing we have to do is learn to forgive. There it says forgiveness. And what is forgiveness? You know, it makes sense sometimes when you think about it that we really don't want to forgive. That we kind of enjoy kind of holding the other person in as having wronged us. That we don't want to really give that up because we think we have the upper hand. And that we also understand that we have to in order to really be comfortable and to be in joy, to live life comfortably. There was a fellow named Kenny. Kenny was raised by a very harsh mother. She belittled him, she put him down, she would not listen to him, and she felt like that he was wrong in just about everything he did. She called him stupid, she called him irresponsible, and that's what he was raised on for 17 years of his life until he left home. And what happened is that because of what he felt about this, and he knew his mother was wrong, but he couldn't feel that his mother was wrong. And so what he wanted to do was not to forgive her. He wanted not to let go of that, and he blamed her for everything. He blamed her for the fact that he could not keep a job very easily when he was in his 20s. He blamed her for the fact that he was depressed during his early 20s, which by the time he was 30 years old, moved into clinical depression. So finally, he had to see a therapist. And when he went to the therapist's office, the therapist started to talk and asked him what the problem was. And he explained all the things his mother did wrong, and that was his problem, and that he just could not forgive her. And the therapist started talking about forgiveness, and he said, "You heard me. I am not going to forgive her. I am not here to forgive her, and I will not forgive her." Well, over about a year's time of sessions, he came to the point where he was able to literally forgive his mother, because he started to understand that by not forgiving, he was hurting himself. And once he went through that process, what he did is he moved out of town. He started to pursue his dreams. He started to get a better education. He started to see himself in a different light. And that's what happens when we forgive. We free ourselves up to be the spiritual beings that we are. And that's what happened for Kenny. Maybe some of you have something in your past that you resent, something that you feel was wrongful to you, being done wrongfully to you, somebody who maybe betrayed you. What do we do with that? What we do is we let it bring it, we bring it up from our shadow side. That's where it usually stays, on the shadow side, in the darkness. We allow it to come up and we look at it in the light. And when we look at it in the light, what happens, we're able to see the truth that forgiveness helps me. You know, not being willing to forgive is kind of like stabbing yourself with a knife and thinking the other person's going to bleed. That's really what happens when we understand that we are really stabbing ourselves in the back or in the side or wherever. And when we start to understand that when we release that, we can go on with our lives. We can be more spiritual. We can let go of things that maybe bothered us even more than Mama and Kenny had. And that as we do that, we grow into a prosperity consciousness. You can't feel prosperous when you really, literally have a thorn in your side that you're not willing to pull out. And so we learn to forgive. The second thing is attitude. And Charles Fillmore talked a lot about attitude. You know, I have his book here called Prosperity. Now, some people, I don't know, just find this a little complicated or dry and old. I've had this book since 1997. I have notes in it. I read it occasionally. But there's one part of it that I want to share with you. And it is what he said, if I can get this to go. Okay, there we go. It's what he said on page 59 and 60 in his book on prosperity. And he said that, what are the rules of the law? First, God is good and all his creations are good. When you get that firmly fixed in your mind, you are bound to demonstrate good, and nothing but good can come into your life. He said, pray like this, that I am a child of absolute good. God is good, and I am good. Everything that comes into my life is good, and I'm going to have only the good. Establish this consciousness, and only the good will be attracted to you, and your life will be a perpetual joy. I cannot tell you why this is true, but I know that it is, and that you can prove it for yourself to your satisfaction. So, forgiveness, and then an attitude. Create a prosperity attitude. And after you've done your forgiveness work, you're able to do that because you see yourself differently. And you start to understand. Now, God is not good or bad. Please don't get that confused. It's just that the energy of the universe gives us the ability to change our perspective, to see ourselves differently, to understand that we are love, and that we can love others, and we can love ourselves. And when we use that power of love, we bring good into the world, good into our lives, good into all that we are and all that we experience. Good, like each of you are as members of Unity Renaissance. You're experiencing the good because you're experiencing each other. You're experiencing the good because you're experiencing love. You're experiencing the good because you experience the music here and the people here. And so we have this opportunity to use and make our attitudes in such a way, or create our attitudes in such a way, that we are able to be truly prosperous. And you don't have to do much work. What you do is you let it come to you, whatever your need happens to be. Yes, you use faith to make that happen, and we can use the law of mind action to make that happen. But faith primarily is taking an idea that you have imagined and then turning it in and demonstrate it in your life. Every one of us has that ability, have been created with that ability. But we have to do some work on focusing on that and understanding how the process works. And then the next thing, as we look at it, is the story of the prodigal son. Charles Fillmore did a great job in that book on talking about the prodigal son. Maybe you felt like this, I don't know. But in Jesus' day and time, as most of us know, the oldest son inherited everything. The next one got hardly nothing. Could work for the oldest son, but that's about it. And so the youngest son of a farmer, let's say, went to his father, who was very wealthy, and said, I'd like to have whatever I'm going to get now, and I'm going to go and I'm going to build a future for myself. And so his father said, fine, I'll be glad to do that. And he gave his second oldest son a sum of money, and the son went into the far country. Now, the far country means he walked away from home, away from that which created him. The far country means I go out and I don't make very good decisions because the far country is a material country. And as this fellow went out, as most of you may know the story, he went out and he lost all his money. And then in order to survive, he worked for a pig farmer. And he fed the pigs. He was in the mud with the pigs sometimes. And he felt like his life was the life of a pig. So what he did was he came to his senses. Smart guy. Went back home, expecting his father to confront him, to maybe even kick him out. But instead, his father greeted him with open arms. His father loved him and proved his love to him. His father gave him a new robe, gave him new sandals. He did all the things necessary to make his son feel totally at home and welcome back home. Well, there was another son, the oldest son, and he was wondering why his father treated him this way. And his father said, you're going to get what you deserve and what you have a right to. But let's love our brother and my son because he's come back home to rest. He's come back home and he's going to find this prosperous mentality, this prosperous understanding of life that you and I have continued to have, and he missed out on. And so there was this forgiveness, there was this treatment of his son in such a way that he was able to literally bring into being and demonstrate through Jesus' story prosperity at the love level. Then we look at the universal laws of prosperity. Now grab hold of your chairs because I'm going to talk about money a little bit. Okay? Let me just tell you my philosophy on tithing, and you may never hear this from a pulpit before. It's just what I believe. One of the things I've done is studied all of the statistics on tithing. And in 1997, 2.5% of the public who go to church actually tithes 10% of their income to the church. They may have tithes elsewhere, but to the church. And today it's less than 2%. So it's dwindling, the idea of tithing. It's not that I'm not for tithing. I personally tithe. Not all of it to the church, but I personally give away 10% of my income or more. What I do believe, though, is more important than the tithing. It's not the amount. It's being willing to tithe or give on a regular basis. I call it consistent giving. And I found that when I talked about that at other churches, people catch on to that. And they say, I can consistently give. For example, there's a woman who gave $19 a month since the year 2007. Now you add that up, that's about $5,000 or $6,000 that she gave over that period of time, over that time, since when she started giving. And that's not shabby, okay? That helps the coffers. That helps the ministry do what it's supposed to do. And so she couldn't give a great deal, but she could give $19 a month and has continued to do that even to this day. So that's consistent giving, the power of consistent giving. And one of the things I would recommend to you, if you are not a consistent giver, you give thought to it. You give thought to it. And do what you're comfortable with. If you want to give 20%, you're welcome to give 20%. But if you want to give 5% or 2% or 3%, feel welcome to do that. Because every gift you make is important. And it's important to you because what happens is when we find ourselves working under universal law, for example, there's the law of circulation. What I give out comes back to me. And I don't know if it comes back 10 times or not. That's what the Hebrew scripture says. But it doesn't make any difference. It comes back. Whatever I'm willing to let go will come back to me through the law of circulation. And one of the things that we have to do and remember is that we need to honor the law of circulation by receiving. A lot of us have been trained, maybe not anymore, but have been trained that if you ask me and tell me that you want to give me something, I go, oh, no, you don't need to do that. Or I'm going to buy your lunch. Oh, no, you don't need to do that. You're turning down your good because you're not allowing that law of circulation to happen. When I was in El Paso a lot of years ago, I had a young couple come into my office after a message one Sunday. And I was getting ready to go to Unity Village. I wanted to go for 2 weeks, but I could only go for 1 week financially. And what they did is they gave me a check for $600. Yes, I could go to Unity Village for 1 week, get all my meals, do everything I was taking for $600. And they gave me that check, or $400, I'm sorry. And what happened was, initially I wanted to say, oh, don't do that. But what I had learned was not to turn down my good, to accept it graciously and to appreciate them for it. And so instead of saying, don't do that, I said, thank you very much. And later sent them a note telling them what I used the money for, because it did bless my life in that moment. And so we need to understand this law of circulation. And then we also have a law of giving and receiving. And I've talked about that indirectly. And it's not much different than circulation, it's just a different way of saying it. That what I give from my heart, I receive back into my heart. What I give because I care, I am then cared for. That's all I know. That's what I understand. And it makes my life complete. It's not the amount of compassion I show. It's not the amount of love I show. It's the fact that we are able to show it at the right time, to the right person, so that we are honoring this giving and receiving, a universal law of life. And then there is also the law of creativity. And the law of creativity says, what I started off with, that you have within yourselves, we all have within ourselves, Unity Renaissance has within itself all the ability to create whatever it is we desire to create. Do we want to create togetherness or separation? Do we want to create love or judgment? Do we want to create education and take advantage of that, or do we just want to kind of sit it through? It's up to each of us to decide what we're going to do. And there's nothing wrong with sitting some things through. We can't do everything, but we can do a lot when we put our mind to it. When we decide that we want to be prosperous in our lives, and I'm not talking about money here, I'm talking about being prosperous from the perspective of how I feel about myself. When I'm willing to do that, then I can take into consideration this creativity and I can be more creative. And then there's this law of supply and demand. I used to be a financial planner, and one of the ways I would start a class, right at Old Dominion University, as a matter of fact, many years ago, I would start off a class by saying there's only so much money to go around. That's a little opposite of what Unity says. And as I studied it and have looked at the history over the last 20 years, I found out there's plenty of money to go around. Whether I have it or not doesn't make any difference, but there's plenty of money to go around. The supply of money has actually increased. And I'm not going to get into the political side of that at all this morning, but it has increased. There's more money in the universe today than there was 20 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. So money does increase. And the law of supply and demand doesn't say there's only so much. it says there is plenty. Partake. Bless yourself as you do that. And I know that this morning I am talking to a group of people overall who are wealthy compared to most of the people in the world, who most of you probably get a meal whenever you want it. I get a few more than I should. All of you have the opportunity to probably drive a car, own a car, or you can get to public transportation. So this is not an unprosperous ministry. It is very prosperous, and you are all very blessed. And because of that, you bless us back with your gifts and your tithes. And how much, again, is up to you. How often, I recommend it be consistent on a regular basis, as I said. And so as we come back to this idea of a spiritual perspective on prosperity, there's one thing that I do want to emphasize that I did not, and that's the idea of service. Now, some people, and it's okay, will provide service, but they don't feel like they can give. But service really means to serve the ministry in many ways as much as you can. In 4 T's, it's tithing, it's time, it's something else. The 4 T's, okay? Anyway, obviously I wasn't going to say this, and now I do know what the 4 T's are. Tithing, time, talent, okay? And if you put those together, you end up with an understanding of prosperity and an ability to serve. So it is serving each other, and you do it beautifully. I've watched you when people are sick, how you come together, how the compassionate care team comes together to support them, how the men of unity and the soul sisters, is that what it is? The sisterhood, I'm sorry. You are soul sisters, though, aren't you? No, okay, yes, all right. With the sisterhood, how that comes together. I mean, I've only been here just about a year, so I'll get the names eventually, okay? But anyway, so that what happens is when we serve one another in the way that we need to be served. We serve each other, as you know, through the power of love. And love is that ongoing supply of energy that lives within you and within me. And so we use our service, our time of service, to not only support each other, but to support ourselves. What comes around, goes around. And so, I want to congratulate you guys on how prosperous you are in every way. Now, I know our budget, and we're going to talk about that at the town hall meeting, is off this year. But you know what a budget is? It's a projection of what you think might happen. I want you to think about that. It's a projection of what you think might happen. And sometimes it happens better, and sometimes it happens less. Sometimes substantially less. But the real key is, are you able to maintain the services that the ministry needs in order to do you have enough money in order for the ministry to be successful? You do. And this is all temporary. I want to share that. This is all temporary. Sometimes we create a budget and we knock the ball out of the park. Another year we create a budget and it comes a little short. Or we create a budget and it's just barely over. And we go, what a great job we did. But when we have a budget that's not on track, we might become concerned and think we're not doing a great job, and we are. I just wanted to share that this morning with you and let you know that we are in good shape because of the staff we have, because of the leadership we have, because of the board we have. We are prosperous. Please remember that. We are prosperous. Thank you. Okay. So now let's prepare ourselves for meditation. And as we do so, we just gently breathe in. For a moment, focus on your breath. And through the breath, we experience the deepest part of ourselves, the Christ within us. And in understanding that and feeling that, we're able to open our hearts, knowing there's nothing to fear and everything to gain. So this morning, look at your screen of life and see how truly prosperous you are, and give thanks for that. Be in gratitude, knowing that when we're in gratitude, we in a sense of understanding ourselves. And so as we move along this morning, we come to understand that we are in this moment, in a moment of gratitude. So in the silence, be grateful, be thankful. Now take another breath, a little deeper, knowing that as you come back to this time and place, that you are coming back with an open heart, a thankful heart, a grateful heart, knowing that you are prosperity in action. And so it is, in the name and the power of the Christ within each of us. Amen.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
So this morning I offer you the opportunity to give, to share of your good, to share with one another, to support this ministry. And we can do it in a number of ways. I mean, it's easy to give today, actually. You can use a credit card and go online. You can also go to the back of the room and give a check or cash in the box, in the, I don't know what it's called back there, the bowl, the basket, thank you, the basket back there. We also have the opportunity to go on our phones and we can dial a number, believe it or not, and we can give. And that number is
540-418-1228. Text now.
And so please join me in blessing the gifts we receive. And as we do so, we say together that divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Together, I am glad. Yes, I am.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, back in good measure,
it's given back to you. Yeah.
What I'd like to do is anybody here for the first time today?
We have a song.
What's happening?
We have a song first.
Oh, you want the song first? You want to sing?
I'll do that if you want me to.
I don't want to miss it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Woo.
All right, now it's time to get your hands up and party.
Running round, fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way.
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 I said get out of the way and let God do his thing.
Sing it, boy.
Look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. Get out of the way.
Get out of the
Hey, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I said get out of the way and let God do his thing. Go on, Nick. Whoa. The sun's gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is blue and the good is flowing. You don't dig a plant, then see it growing. Get out of the way.
Get out of the
Hey,
way.
get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I said get out the way and let God do his thing.
One more time.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the
I said get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Oh, get out the way and let God do his thing.
Hey, Boyd, if I go now? Oh, okay, thank you. You know, you guys are great, and what it shows is without Richard here, we can do it, okay? Thank you. They are wonderful. And next week, I want to see the sax player play both the piano and the sax at the same time. You work on that? That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you. So again, now let's come back to it. How many people might be here for the first time? Would you raise your hand? Because we want to welcome you and share a gift with you. Sitting right over here. And when you receive the packet inside of this gift is another gift gift if you take it to the bookstore and fill out a form. We want to thank you for being here and hope you return. If you have any questions, see me after the service, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And so now, where are we? We are ready for the announcements, aren't we? Here comes Ann, and here comes Boyd, and I'll get out of the way.
Well, just so glad that you all are here with us this morning, and really do want to take an extra moment for the music team. You really put it together. Richard's not here. Yeah. Thank you. So we have a community forum today. It's at 12:30. You don't want to miss it. There's a few bylaw changes that are coming up. You can view those bylaws out in the narthex. You can ask any questions that you have at the community forum. And we're also going to be doing a ministerial search update. And Reverend Richard, I want to spend a moment to thank you for everything you've done. Again, just a moment of appreciation for you. Because it is obviously clear you're paving the way for the right and perfect senior minister to make their way to us. Yay.
So we have our very own Cindy Mills, a licensed Unity teacher, who is going to be giving in-person class Wednesdays in October at 1 p.m. It's all about the 5 principles. You don't want to miss it. Go to our website for information and to sign up.
Not this Sunday, I apologize, October 8th, Sunday, October 8th, Lorena Griffin is going to be doing a workshop on forgiveness. Lorena, are you here today? Yes, look in the back. There she is back there. I tell you what, she's really put together some wonderful materials for this. It's based on a 9-step forgiveness method, and it really gives you clarity, ease, and just adds to your general well-being. Lorena's going to be out in the narthex for a bit to answer any questions and hopefully get you to sign up and come join us again Sunday, October 8th from 1 to 3. Now, the big piece, but I apologize, the big piece about that is all the proceeds are going to Unity Renaissance. So, Lorena, I really want to thank you for that.
Now, all through October, we have our Christmas sock drive. Now, bring in brand new socks, gloves, blankets, and you can put them in the box in the narthex. That's throughout October, and they're all welcome. Thank you.
And so we have our annual pet blessing coming up. That's Saturday, October 7th at 10 a.m., led by our very own Reverend Richard Bunch. Bring pictures of your animals. Bring your animals. It's live and in person. It's held outside. It is one of the most beautiful ceremonies we do each year. Again, October 7th, all are welcome. Bring friends that have pets. All right, we hope to see you there.
And Ann mentioned our ministerial search. So every Sunday after the service, we have a Ask a Trustee. They'll be out in the narthex, possibly in the sanctuary, and the trustee for this week is Hazel Gaines. Is Hazel Gaines? There she is in the back. Ask her any questions you have about the ministerial search. She'll be happy to answer.
And so we have next week our very own board member, Gail Boynton, who will be speaking for the very first time here at Unity Renaissance. Gail, stand up. Come on, take. Yeah, there she is. The title of her talk, The Creative Power of Words. It's going to be a good one. And so at this time, we would like to welcome in our youth. You know they are ready. I hope they are. Let's sing them in.
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. 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 Walking in the light of God. We are 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 walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God.
Good morning, good morning. How are you, everyone? It's so nice to see you. I took a week off. It felt like a year. I'm like, oh no, where's my Unity family? So thank you so much for your patience. It was actually just a mental health day, and I'm so glad to be back because I feel so refreshed. I'm so happy you're all here this morning and that we're here this morning. Before we begin, we're going to bless our offertory. It seems that our children monetarily were extremely generous this morning, so I can't wait to add this to the basket in the back. So let's take a deep breath, everyone. Hold out your hands. sweet, sweet, sweet Spirit, thank you so much for all these children have to offer today. Their monetary gifts, their talents, their smiles, their laughter, their sharing, their creativity. Thank you so much for it all. For our teachers who came in this morning, some of them on a last-minute notice, to just love on our youth. We are so eternally grateful, and so it is. Amen. Okay, do we have shares? Yes.
Today we made flowers, and then on each of the petals, I think there were 9 of them. I think 1, 2. Yep, there's 9. Okay, 9. Yes. And we had to write good things on them. So I wrote, listen to a friend, encourage others, help others, give a hug, say nice things, be patient, spend time with family, and give to others.
So today we learned about court, which is our spirit. And we also made these sunflowers. And what I wrote down today is generosity, thankful, being me, creative, loving, and thoughtful. And 2 hearts because I'm very loving.
I use order to be the best I can be.
Thank you so much. Uniteens, YOU, anyone? Look at our big gang back here, thank goodness. SB?
So today we learned about order and how and where it comes from. It comes from the stomach, and so like if you're like feeling nervous or something, you feel like you're like missing the order, then your stomach will feel like knotted up.
Great job. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So yeah, obviously we're in the 12 powers of order, and this is our last week. Next week we have a special treat for everybody as Miss Peggy is coming in to make Mass with us and how we remove our mask to be the light of our true selves. So nobody miss that. Everybody come in and make sure that we're here to create together. With that, please stand for the prayer of protection and our peace song.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
That's it. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I just push the button, man. If it happens, it happens. It don't, it don't. Yes, sir. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, brother. Oh, well, when I can, you know. Well, thank you, sir.